What's going on, guys? It's your girl Shantika. I'm back for another video, and today I'm actually going to do a story time. And this is the story time that I have been wanting to do for, it's been over a year now since this incident happened. And of course I'm in my kitchen because this is the only place that has good lighting, and I do have children. If you're new to my channel, what's going on? Hey girl, hey y'all, hey. So if you hear fussing and fighting and whining, I got kids, okay? And this is the only time space that I could kind of film because the lighting is a lot better, and I'm trying to, have my videos be a little bit better quality. So we're just gonna get right into it. Not a whole lot of preliminary. So as you saw the title, yes honey, we were victims of a rental scam, and I do have my receipts and I do have all the information, which I will be inserting in different parts of this video, because these people need to be exposed. These people need to be held accountable for their actions. I made a complaint, but you know how that goes. I mean, it could be anybody, and if you ain't really nobody, I mean, who's gonna really help you? And all right, sorry y'all, I had to settle a dispute between my children. So anyway, here goes. So February of last year, I was, if you've watched me for a long time, everybody knows that I live in the hood. I've lived in the same apartment since I moved out of my parents' house 17 years ago when I was 23 years old. And I've been living here ever since because I never really had a reason to move, because I live in, a 2-bedroom apartment. It's a great size and the rent is cheap. I don't have an issue with my landlord. I don't have an issue with management. I don't have an issue with nobody. Whenever I, ask them to fix something, they fix it. Neighbors, I mean, they don't stay long enough to bother me too bad. And, that's it. I don't really have a huge problem. But over the years, a lot of the requirements of actually moving into these apartments have laxed. All you need is a job. All you need is a job. They don't do background checks. They don't do anything like that. All you have to do is have you a W-2 form. You could be crazy. You could be on drugs. You could sell drugs as long as you have a W-2 form and a paper that says that you work. You can pretty much be anybody. And so for the past few years, I live in a duplex, and so it's just like 4 apartments in one building, and then that's how they all are. But I have these crazy neighbors across the street. I don't even know how many people live in that apartment, because the apartments only go up to two bedrooms. So, and it's like 7 or 8, 9, 10, 50, 11 people living in that damn apartment. It's so bad that these fools are actually making sleeping outside a little bit, because it's just so many people living there that they'll sleep in their car in front of the building. They'll sleep in sleeping bags and blankets, or they'll get those fold-up chairs and they'll sleep there. And one of them, they have a lot of traffic coming in and out, like guests, family. I don't know these people, a lot of traffic coming in. And I saw one guy, he clearly sells drugs, and you can clearly see it, what he's doing, because you can see questionable people. I had, when I was working at nighttime, one crackhead girl like walked up to my damn car when I had got off of work at 3 o'clock in the morning. She walked up to my damn car and was like, and I carry a blade with me everywhere. I don't have a gun yet. I'm starting to consider getting a concealed carry permit. I live in Florida, honey, so I don't really need a permit I don't need a permit. You could just go buy a gun, but I want to get a concealed permit because it's just getting to the point where people are starting to approach me. See, I don't really care what people do as long as you don't bother me as a person. And so, yes, I was coming home late at night from work, and I get off like 3 o'clock in the morning, and this chick just walked into my car. You could tell she was clearly on something, and I pulled out my knife, and I was just like, if you don't get the hell away from my damn car, you gonna lose something. Get the hell away. And then I guess, you know, I ran into the house, and Vern was like, because he sleeps on the couch when I was working, and so, you know, if something happens, he could just jump up and run out the door. And so he's like, what's going on, what's going on? I said, this girl walked up on me. And not too long before that, I got into an altercation, a verbal altercation, with one of the homeless dudes that lived there, because we live in a duplex, and there's no assigned parking. There's no assigned parking. So anybody could park anywhere. And that's what they do. People in the building behind you, in front of you, on the side of you, they can park in your space. And there's really nothing that you can do about it. And it's just like an unspoken thing. You just park wherever there's free parking. And so that's what I've done. That's what they've done. And one day, there was no parking in front of my building, and so I parked across the street like I normally do. So this dirty dude gonna come and tap on my window and was like, oh, that's his uncle's parking. And I was just like, no, it's everybody's parking, because when there's no space in front of your building, you have no problem. Well, he don't have no car because he's broken, dusty, and busted. His uncle and everybody else that lives in this building have no problem parking across the street. And do I say anything? No, because it's not my business. As long as I have a parking space, I don't care if you park in the alleyway. It don't matter to me, as long as I have a parking. And I never approach anybody, and I don't bother anybody. And so for him to approach me was just like, dude, like, and he commences to talking his trash and talking his stuff, and I commence to talking my trash and talking my stuff. And so when my husband got home, he tries to go run and tell Vern, like, Vern's supposed to whoop my ass. Like, are you crazy? I'm gonna tell your husband. I'm just like, and like, tell him what he gonna do. You know. And so it was this huge argument that transpired, and Vern had to go over there, and man to man was like, listen, I don't give a damn what your problem is, don't talk to my wife. And so that sufficed that to say the dude never bothered me since. Every now and then, like a year has passed since the argument, so he'll be trying to, like, he'll say hi, like, hey, like, he'll be like, hey, auntie, and I'm like, bitch, I ain't your auntie. Excuse my language, but listen, I ain't your damn auntie. I don't know, we ain't I ain't that damn old to be nobody damn auntie. I mean, I am, but we ain't family, because you're dirty, and you're dusty, and you're unproductive. I told him all kind of stuff, because he would always panhandle out in the, he would panhandle and have a bunch of stolen stuff that he'd be trying to sell. And he was always trying to get somebody to buy that old raggedy stuff, that old stuff that he'd be stealing. And I was like, you broke, you dust. And he was like, I wouldn't be broke if you would buy something. I was like, I ain't buying that stolen raggedy crap you got out the trash. No, you didn't. You did. Oh. I'll be back, y'all. Okay, sorry, y'all. I thought I had an accident, crazy accident. So, yeah, so I was telling Vern, like, after that whole argument situation, I was just like, I want to move. I want to move. I want to move. I want to move. I don't want to live here no more, because I'm so sick and tired of it. So we were looking on, I know, y'all, looking on Craigslist, and we found a house. And so I contacted the dude who claimed that his name was David Huntley. And so we contacted him. Everything looked legit, and unbeknownst to me, all scamming rental stuff looked legit. It all looks legit. That's how they scam people. I didn't know that, but I knew, and I feel I was so preoccupied with moving because of so much, and I had to tell y'all that backstory so y'all can understand my frame of mind and why I ignored every single red flag that was presented to me. And I was so wanted to move. I just wanted to move. And so we found this rental house in Fort Lauderdale, and we loved it. We had to go through, we contacted the person on Craigslist, and he referred us to this website called Invitation Homes. And he was like, well, you have to look, I'm the owner of the house, but it's being managed by Invitation Homes. And so you have to go there, put your debit card information in, because it's like a virtual tour. This was way before, it was literally a month before COVID, and we had no idea. So they were doing virtual tours. So they would put your debit card on file, I guess, as a security precaution. They didn't charge it, and they would give you a code, and you can go see the house. Well, well, they didn't give me the code. He gave me the code. He literally approved us like in one day. The rent was like $1,095, and all he was asking for was the 1 month rent, and that was it. And so we were like, okay, cool. And so we agreed to see the house. He was supposed to give us a code, and so instead of Invitation Homes giving us the code, he, I don't know, intercepted that. He was able to intercept that interaction, and he gave me the code, which was so weird. And so he gave us a key code to get into the house. We saw the house, we really liked the house, and we were like, we'll take it. And so he was saying that he wanted me to, he lived in another state. That's red flag number 2. Hold on. Oh, he wanted me to, first he wanted me to Cash App him. I don't have Cash App because I don't have all these different new apps or whatever. Like, I didn't even have Zelle at the time. I'm still, my mindset is still kind of in the early 2000s. Like, I don't have all this new technology stuff, like money transfer stuff. I never did that before, ever, 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 because I never had a reason to. And so, so I tried to set up Cash App, and it was for me, it was such a complicated thing to do. But then he wanted me to, in a second. I got kids, y'all. So he wanted me to send Cash App him the money for the apartment, for the house. But he wanted me to Cash App a lady called Beverly. And I have all of their information right here. I'm gonna insert it when I'm done talking. And so I tried to Cash App her. It didn't work. I don't know why. My bank rejected it. Something was funny. It didn't happen. And so I had to try to Cash App 2 people, and for whatever reason my bank wasn't having it. They didn't do it. It wouldn't go through. And so then he was like, oh, give me a money order, but don't fill it out. And my dumb ass was just like, and I'm telling him on the phone, like, please don't scam me. And I'm just like, Shantika, if you're telling this guy please don't scam you, he may scam you. But I just wanted to move. You guys have to understand the dilemma that I was in. I was so like up to here with everything going on with these crazy neighbors that I just wanted to get the hell on. And so I went to the post office and got I had to pay the first I had to pay the first month and the last month, first and last. And so that added up to $2,100. And so with money orders, you can't have all of that money all at once. You have to do $1,000 increments. So I had like 3 money orders, 2 for $1,000 and 1 for $95 or something, or 1 for $100, something like that. So it's $2,100. And it was so crazy because in the back, you have all these bells going off in the back of your head, but then you're just like, you gotta, I was talking to him and he was just like, people have, been trying to scam me too. He tried to relate and like, oh yeah, I've been scammed too. I promised I would never do anything. I just wanted to rent this property out to a nice family because I live out of town. Apparently he lived in New Jersey somewhere, and that's where I had to send the money. And I'm actually gonna give you that physical address, as well. I'm giving you all of the information that that I have and that I forwarded to the FTC as well. That's the Florida Trade Commission, if you don't know what that is. So anyway, I'm just like, he was like, don't fill it out, don't fill it out. But I was just like, nah, I gotta fill it out. Like, I just can't send you a money order and don't say what the money order is for. And so I filled out the customer portion of it, and he went berserk on me. He was just like, why did you do that? Why did you fill? I said, because I have to keep this for my records. So if you come back and say I didn't pay, I have a receipt, you know, because money orders come with a receipt that says I paid and what I paid for. So you can't in turn sue me and say, you know, you didn't pay or whatever the case may be. He was like, no, I told you not to do that, and da 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 da. And mind you, I didn't fill out who the money order was for. I just filled out the receipt portion of the money order. And so I had to send it to this address of some dude named Emmanuel. I'm gonna give y'all all the information. And so then he was supposed to give me the keys once I submitted the payment, once I submitted the because I had to because Vern had to sign the lease, because he was the one working. He had to sign the lease, sign the lease. I had to scan it, send it back to him, and that was that. Like, he didn't want to wait for me to mail it or nothing. And so so he was supposed to give us the keys. He was supposed to, his lawyer, some random dude, I don't know, and he was supposed to meet us at the house once the money was exchanged, once he received, and I had to overnight the money to him, because he wanted the money to be in his hand before he gave us the key, before he sent somebody to give us the keys. And so I had a bad feeling about it, because we had went to a picnic that Saturday, and then this happened all in the course of a weekend. I talked to him Thursday, we got approved Friday, saw the house Friday. Saturday I sent him the money, he got it on Monday, and I forgot where the kids were. I think Viola was at school, Valerian was somewhere else with my mom or with my mother-in-law, but we didn't have the kids with us that day. And so me and Vern was just like, well, we're going to be waiting all day for these keys. And so in the meantime, in between time, we didn't say anything to our current landlord, because we live on a week-to-week lease. You pay it's not month to month. You just you have to give them like a week's notice in order to move out. So it's like a non-binding type lease situation. You don't need much notice. And so I didn't want to say anything, you know, because I didn't want to say anything until we were completely moved in and everything was on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to move out of your place and get rid of your place, and then something happens and you're like out on the street. And so then we went to the movies, and I'm waiting. I text this guy, and I was just like, did you receive the money? And he was just like giving me like one-word answers. Yeah, nothing else. And I was just like, okay, and so what time is your lawyer going to meet us at the house to give us the keys? No response. No response. No response. I'm like, hello. I said, why aren't you responding? And so he was just like, oh, well, he'll be there today at 6 o'clock. So we got the kids, we packed up, got a U-Haul truck. And when we got the U-Haul truck, I got a phone call saying that we needed to pay some more money. And I was just like, what the hell are you talking about? I just paid you $2,100. What are you talking about? We got to pay you. Oh, you were supposed to pay this and that. And I was like, hold on. No. I have text messages and I have a receipt as to what we agreed upon. This lawyer, so-called lawyer, calls me and was like demanding all this extra money. I'm not going to be able to give you the keys if you don't give me this amount of money and this amount of money. I was just like, I would come find you and call the police on you and put you in damn jail. Like, are you crazy? And so he was just like, I'm not crazy. You're not going to get the keys. And I called David and I was just like, what the hell is going on? Why? We've already, you know, paid our money. You know, you've already gave us the okay. What is going on? Like, why is this random dude? Oh, I'm sorry, I'll talk to him. So we're supposed to be going to this house. We literally packed up the entire apartment in like 3 hours and was at the rental property, standing outside the freaking door, waiting on this fool, waiting on this guy. I'm in tears because I'm just like, it's a scam. It's a scam. And then Vern was like yelling at me. It's like, I told you it was a scam. Da, 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 da. And I was just like, oh my God. So I'm on the phone crying. Right now, it's February. So, 6 o'clock in Florida is like almost nighttime. And I got the house packed up. I got my van is packed up to the nines. Vern's truck is packed up. The damn U-Haul truck is packed up, and we cannot get into this house. And so I'm calling, crying, and I'm freaking out. And I'm like, I'm about to call the police. And the guy's like, no, no, no. So what he does is that, I don't know how he got my information as far as my debit card information, but he was able to use the same information that I put into Invitation Homes to get another viewing in order for me to unlock the door so that we could get in. So we moved everything in. Everything was moved in. And then we were literally done. My parents were on their way to see the house and to help us. I had ordered bunk bed. I had ordered a bunk bed because it was a 3-2. I had ordered a bunk bed for Vila's room, and the delivery people were like literally on their way. And I get a phone call from this lady from Invitation Homes. Hi, my name is Karen. Just throwing out, so she's a white lady. My name is Karen, and I saw that you requested a viewing 2 times in a row. Can you explain to me why you did that? Like, why you did that? And I was just like, I just rented this house, so I'm not really sure what you're calling me for. And she's just like, who did you rent it from? Because this house is owned by Invitation Homes. I was just like, what? We're moved in. All of our stuff is in the house. Yeah, the house is owned by Invitation Homes. And I said, I signed a lease. She said, yeah, it's probably a fake lease, and you're gonna have to get out of the house. But if you're interested in the house, it's going to be $2,000 a month. And if your credit is not, we can work with you, and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, the rent is supposed to be $1,089 or $95 or something like that. And she's like, no, this house is owned by Invitation Homes. Now, mind you, once we got into the house, we changed all the locks. Like, we did so much that day. We changed all the locks. We had the garage door openers were in there. We just couldn't figure out how to get that lock off the front door, because it was like, it was a security lock, And so I told Vern, like, just change the back doors, and we changed the garage door locks so that we could just get in the house, did not even. So that's all of the information from the guy that scammed us. So this is literally, like, at this point, it's going on 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. My mother's laying on our couch. She's listening to her church. And we have our dining room table and all this shit that we just bought. And I was like, we have to move it all back to our apartment. Now, mind you, all of the neighbors across the street that I hated their guts, they were all outside looking at us while we're moving our stuff. Like, they're leaving, blah, 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 blah. And here we bring our asses back. And they were all outside watching us like, what the hell's going on? They're moving all their stuff back in. Now, we don't talk to them. They just, like, looking at us. They watched us move out. And then they watched us move back in. We literally moved back in. I was so angry and so upset. I was crying like the whole time. And I literally stayed up until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I literally put my entire house back together as it was, unpacked everything. Like, that's how pissed off I was. We just put it on because I had cleaned the apartment when we moved out. So, and then we had just got a bunch of new stuff, like new furniture and stuff like that. And so I just put everything back in. I was so angry and so upset. So here's the task of trying to get our money back. So I'm pissed off and like, okay. She said, bye, let's fun. And so I stayed up all night putting everything back, and then I called this guy and I cursed him to the heavens and was just like, what the hell? And he was just like, I don't know what's going on, that's a lie. And he just denied everything. And I was just like, I want my money back. I want my money back. And he's like, you can't get your money back. And then he just started telling me, oh, I have a disabled son and my son needs surgery. And I'm just like, I don't give a shit. Like, give me my money back. Give me my money back. And I was just like, I'm gonna stop payment on this money. So I go back to the post office, and the policies are so dumb, and it's my fault. It's all my fault. I don't blame anybody, but I just think it's dumb that you have to wait, I think, 60 days in order to get a refund. Nobody's gonna hold a money order that is blank. I didn't even fill out the freaking whole thing. They're not gonna their policy is to hold it for 60 days, and if they don't cash it, they'll refund your money back. Stupid as hell. And I was just like, and I don't write checks. I never wrote checks. I had one bad experience with writing checks back in the day, and I never, after I paid it back off or whatever, I never wrote checks ever again. And so I was just like, damn, if I'd have wrote him a personal check, I could have stopped payment on that check like that night. I could have got online, or I'd have been able to call my bank, because I had online banking. I could have contacted online bank and just disputed the check, and I'd have got my money back. And so lesson learned, expensive lesson learned for me. And so, and what was so crazy about this dude is that we were literally going back and forth for like a week until I just blocked him and said, I lost my money, screw it. Expensive lesson learned. And yeah, so listen, don't be like me. I mean, I was so preoccupied with moving and getting away that I ignored all of the red flags. And I didn't pay attention. My battery went dead. But yeah, so first and foremost, I don't care where you rent a house from. Either find a realtor. Even if you do, try to look for a house on Craigslist, because they do have some legitimate stuff. Do a title search, contact the city, find out who actually owns the home, check ID. Check ID, Google their name to see if there's any complaints out against them. And if they don't go through the necessary protocols, that landlord's supposed to go through, then don't go with them. Don't deal with several different people, and definitely don't do any cash apps. Don't do any money transfers, because you really can't authenticate that. I feel like you can, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? The best thing to do is write a check so you can stop payment on that thing and get your damn money back, because that's the only way that you can really get your money back. And you have to do it quickly. You stop payment on that thing, and you can get your money back. But don't ever write a money order for no rent. Really research these people, because the guy sounded either Haitian or African. I don't know. He had a very strong accent, and it was either Haitian or African. I'm not sure. And he lived somewhere in New Jersey. He probably lived in Africa some damn where. And it's like a community of scammers, because it was like I gave him 3 money orders, and 3 different people cashed those checks, because the post office, it was so many different people that were working with him. They were all working together to scam me. And this happens more often than not, because I had heard a news report a few weeks later that they had done this big sting operation where they arrested a bunch of people in New Jersey doing scams. And so I really hope it was them. And so after all of that, literally a month later, during spring break. I thought Violet was going to spring break and going right back to school after a week. She never went back to school ever, ever, ever again. And that's when COVID happened. And so now we have all of these electronics, these payment online. My rent office was so extra ghetto. Like, they only took cash, and they would give you a receipt and stuff like that. You always had to walk around with cash and pay them in cash. But now, since COVID, they don't want nobody in the office, and now everything is electronic. You pay your rent electronically. You do everything. I have gotten online banking. I have, done so much research and so much stuff that, yeah. And so I know for years y'all have always saying, I'm always trying to move. I want to move. I want to move. I want to move. And we never really move. But that was a situation where we actually did try to move, and we were scammed. And the Lord had favor on us because we lost $2,100, but thanks to the stimulus, the multiple stimuluses, and our income tax refund, the Lord has literally blessed us 4 times over. So I mean, I'm still butthurt by that damn money, because we're not rich people, you know what I'm saying? And $2,100 is a big chunk of money to just lose, and Vern was mad at me for a little bit because he's like, I'm like the brains, and it's like, you're so smart, is all these red flags? I said, because I was so preoccupied with moving. Like, I just wanted to get away from over here, and I just wasn't thinking. And that's just it, I wasn't thinking. And so keep a level head, plan properly. And so our plan is to actually buy a home, because to me it's actually cheaper, because we were looking at another house, and the man wanted like $2,000 a month, $5,000 down, and he sounded really sketchy too, because I was like asking him questions, and he was giving me one-word answers, and then he just abruptly hung up on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, had this attitude like, if you're not serious, I want my money up front, like that kind of attitude. And I was just like, and he just hung up on me, and I just was like, you know what, Vern, we're trying to get a starter home, and I've been doing so much research on home loans and home prices, and a home that's like under $200,000, like the 3% down is like less than $7,000. So why would I pay somebody rent in excess of $5,000 down when I can just put $5,000 down of our own money into a house that you actually own, than to be dealing with this foolishness. I don't want to deal, and I told Vern, I don't want to deal with no more renters. I don't want to deal with any more, apartment complexes. I don't want to deal with none of that. When we leave this apartment next year, we're going to be leaving and buying a home of our own in Central Florida, because I just want to move completely away from around here. But thanks for enjoying my story time. I know it was kind of rambly, but that's just me. I'm kind of in a hurry because I'm on my way out the door. And so anyway, if you enjoyed this story time, give it a thumbs up, like, share. Please share this, to give people, that warning. I mean, I feel like they just need to take the whole Craigslist and just burn it. Just throw the whole website away. Throw it away. But yeah, we got scammed, and the smartest people in the world get scammed. And it's just like, sometimes you have to take a step back, do your due diligence, do your damn research. Research. Vet these folks. And even, you can do all of that and still end up, getting scammed. And so put safeguards in place where you can get your money back. That's important, because even if somebody tries to scam you, at least you can just call your bank and be like, stop payment. You'll feel bad, but at least you got your damn money back, But anyway, I have to go. I'll talk to you guys in the next vlog. Like, subscribe, and share this. And just be careful out there, because especially with these stimulus checks coming in and all this money people are getting, people are scamming they behinds off. Okay, so y'all be careful, be safe, and I'll see y'all in the next vlog. Peace and hair grease.